Imagine the sting of public humiliation on a packed flight, hundreds of strangers witnessing one cruel moment. A single arrogant act turns every head your way. That's what unfolded when a flight attendant deliberately doused a black woman in first class with orange juice. But her poised response turned the tables, revealing the quiet power of resilience amid everyday bias. It was a routine domestic flight from New York to Los Angeles, the kind where passengers settle in with coffee and laptops, the cabin humming with the low roar of engines. In first class, a young black woman, let's call her Aisha, sat composed, her tailored blouse and laptop betraying none of the exhaustion from a red-eye schedule. She'd earned her upgrade through miles racked up from relentless business trips, a small victory in a world that often overlooked her. The flight attendant, Karen, moved through the aisle with practiced efficiency, but her eyes lingered on Aisha with a flicker of disdain, perhaps triggered by an unconscious bias, the kind rooted in stereotypes Aisha had navigated since childhood. As Karen approached, her smile tightened. In a deliberate tilt, the glass slipped, orange juice cascading over Aisha's blouse, pooling in her lap and dripping onto her tray table. The citrus scent sharpened the air, mingling with the metallic tang of recycled cabin oxygen. Gasps rippled through the cabin. A businessman nearby froze mid-email. A family and coach whispered. Aisha looked down, the sticky warmth seeping into her skin, a metaphor for the subtle erosions of dignity she'd faced in boardrooms and beyond. Karen smirked, murmuring, "Accidents happen," but her eyes betrayed intent. A microaggression masked as clumsiness. Silence gripped the plane, broken only by the distant clink of seatbelts. Aisha's pulse quickened, memories flashing. The time a colleague dismissed her ideas in a meeting, or the security guard who followed her in a store. But she breathed deeply, channeling the lessons from her grandmother, a civil rights marcher, who taught her that true strength lies in measured response, not reaction. Calmly, she pressed the call button. "I'd like to speak with the captain, please," she said, her voice steady, drawing on an inner reserve honed from years of turning adversity into advocacy. The attendant's face paled as the captain arrived, his uniform crisp against the chaos. Aisha recounted the incident factually, her words laced with quiet authority. "This wasn't an accident. It was an assault on my dignity." Passengers nodded, one pulling out a phone to document, amplifying the moment in real time. The captain, sensing the undercurrent of systemic issues, perhaps reminded of his own diverse crew, acted decisively. He relieved Karen on the spot, citing airline policy on passenger respect and zero tolerance for discrimination. "This reflects poorly on all of us," he said, escorting her away. The cabin erupted in applause, not triumphant but affirming, a collective exhale of solidarity. A fellow passenger, an older white woman, offered her scarf. "I've been there in my own way. You handled that with grace." By landing, the story had spread via group chats and social media, sparking conversations about implicit bias and the power of composure. Aisha disembarked not as a victim, but as a catalyst. Her actions a subtle exposition of how one moment can illuminate broader truths. In a world quick to escalate, Aisha's dignity flipped the script, showing that resilience isn't loud, it's luminous. What would you do in her seat? If this resonates, like, share, and subscribe for more stories that unpack the human condition with honesty and depth.